proud and excited to present an AMA with the HOGE team and community. So HOGE launched on the Ethereum blockchain on the 7th of February, and it's went on to be a great success. Can we maybe delve into the history and the journey for the HOGE team and the community?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see HOGEman here, so I can probably take this one. HOGE was first minted by a couple of developers, February 7th. February 10th, they quickly exited. They took their entire stash and they sold it. The community then rallied around the project and said, you know what, we're not going to let this thing die. They bought the smart contracts, placed it under a multi-sig, and at that point forward, HOGE became a community token. We don't have a dev wallet. We don't have a marketing wallet. We have a 2% tax. That every transaction that occurs is split between the burn wallet and then the community as a whole. Everybody who's got a wallet that's on a decentralized exchange receives the redistribution. And so the community then has taken the project and built whatever they wanted with it via the open brand, whether it's an NFT marketplace, whether it's a swap, an aerospace institute, an education platform. We even have a GameFi through Virtual Pangea, e-gaming, HOGE Pets, which is like a Tamagotchi style game using NFTs on the Polygon chain. So we have a really active and vibrant community that just builds whatever they want with the brand. And it's a beautiful DAO that allows us to do whatever we like with it. In addition to all this, we are actually the first token ever that's been in front of CertTech to receive their full audit. We're the first DeFi community-driven token to do that. In addition to that, we're also a legal entity. We're part of the Swiss Association, which is the same place that Ethereum has their association through. And we're a nonprofit. So we're glad to be here, and we're glad to see the community just doing amazing things with our brand.
Awesome, yeah. And you've got HOGE NFTs coming up in the future. Could we talk maybe a bit about the NFTs? That's exciting.
Yeah, we have a few different NFTs right now. So we have the HOGE NFT marketplace, which I believe is called Create It Plus. Currently, it's going through some testing at the moment with a select few of our testers. I don't know the exact date that we're launching this. I want to say it's going to be Q1, but I'm eager to see what they've come up with. I heard some really good things. As far as other NFTs, we have Virtual Pangea that has NFTs, which is the 8-bit heroes. Those NFTs are going to help raise money for the GameFi and various really cool projects we're planning to do with that. I think the next game they're going to come up with is a 3D game. So that'd be really exciting to see how that works. Then we have another NFT project called Organized Owls, which will actually be feeding back into HOGE directly via all the sales and profits. But that's going to be a really cool entry into a brand new platform that we hope to bring forward in about 2 to 3 weeks and let everybody know more about it.
Awesome. And you've got a HOGE merch store coming soon, yeah? What's going to be available for investors to buy there?
I'm sorry, I missed that last question. What did you say?
Yeah, you've got a HOGE merch store coming soon. What's going to be available for investors to buy there?
Yeah. Hey, do you want to take that?
Yeah, absolutely. And hello, everyone. And first of all, thank you for having us on here on Thursday, right? And to answer your question, the HOGE merch store, right? So the HOGE merch store, yeah, is coming soon, and really, right, that's in an effort to really align all the incredible products and merchandise that we can create that tackle, the holiday season and longer term. So we're talking, all segments, from your lifestyle pillows on your couch to your HOGE playing cards, your hats, your hoodies. And then in addition, you can probably see some integration with some of our NFT projects and the physical merchandise world and the CPG world integrating in a very thoughtful and value-filled way with our NFT ecosystem. So it's going to be a take on, your traditional merch shop, but leveraging the innovation and beauty of the projects and IP that our incredible community of over 100,000 investors across 5 different blockchains help produce every single day. And it's exciting as we lead into holiday season to really amplify and operationalize that merch channel. So, coming soon, right? As you said, and as you saw.
Yeah, you're sponsoring esports and rally racing trucks. How's that going for the HOGE project?
Well, that's what's beautiful, right? In the sense that, like, at its base raw core, HOGE is open source, right? When we say we're a community project, really understanding and taking that to a demystified level of understanding is, HOGE lives, succeeds, moves slow, goes about how it does with its projects, much less its visibility, awareness, reach, based on the community. It's a lot different than clocking into a 9 to 5 where you get your W-2 here in America, right, and your salary. There is no upfront payment. This is a different type of project, right? A project on the blockchain whose main purpose isn't for profit, but yet at the same time are creating these incredible pieces of IP that are monster revenue generators, some ahead of their time by mere months. But the beautiful part of our unreasonable thinking community and the projects they build is the simple fact that we all seem to possess the simple power of logical thinking, right? And seeing what is inevitably coming, like HOGE being inevitable, a lot of the projects that we're into, and seeing the biggest gap here in America with education, right? The crypto education gap is so huge. And that's intentional, right? But we need to focus on the things we can't control. And you have Jay Rocco in our community that have created, as you had mentioned, HOGE University, right? And we took that off the digital chains and the blockchains and into the physical world at Boston University just the other week, right? Where now we can really plant those, blockchain infused seeds in the minds of the future thought leaders and decision makers of tomorrow. And I think that will really help in terms of understanding the world of blockchain and really onboarding these audiences to understand that the headlines they read, if you actually go below the surface and understand it's not rocket science and it's a public ledger, all the information is out there for you to really see what's going on. And what's going on is an evolution, right, to the next iteration of every fabric of our day-to-day lives, personally, professionally, data is going on the blockchain. And you can embrace it now, and just embracing the inevitable, you're looked at as a proactive thinker, or you can hold on to the world of yesterday. And we want to aim to fill the education gap tangibly so that people can understand the beauty of blockchain and what it is and what's coming.
Yeah, it's exponential growth for the future as the whole of the world comes over to digital blockchain crypto. So it's exciting. We're all still early. I think it's around 2% of most of Europe's population are involved. So there's another 98% to go over the next 5 or 10 years. So exponential growth is going to be great. So you have a huge burn as well at HOGE. I think 59% of the supply has been burned. What level is that going up to? And is that ongoing each quarter? Or?
Yeah, I mean, well, look, anytime there's a swap, right, a trade, a sell, a buy, that 2% tax is activated. And so that burn never stops, right? It just burns every day, slowly yet surely. It's meticulous. And so each day that goes on, there's less HOGE in circulating supply than there was a moment ago, and there'll never be more. And as our project matures and the market catches up, right, and people understand what we say when we mean business and understand that we are the Microsoft of memes, that is a scarce asset, right, to hold on to. And it's something that, our digital diamond handlers understand from day one. And it's beautiful. We're not a scratch off ticket, right? And with this burn, all the system is in place. It's just now, staying true to our plan with tunnel vision, giving back, always empowering and providing tools and resources to people so that they have a chance to improve their personal, professional, and financial lives by leveraging the innovation of the blockchain. And that deflationary part of our tokenomics, right, is a beautiful piece that really, as we mature and our visibility heats up and we start being everywhere, which is a never-ending mission of everywhereness, right? That supply goes down, and that burn has a lot of value, right? As this market hits adoption and acceleration. As you said, we're very early.
Yeah, and for investors, you can stake your HOGE on Uniswap. How does that work? Is it locked, unlocked, time periods and things?
Well, yeah, and see, that's the beautiful part, right? That's a great point. So you can become a liquidity provider on Uniswap or BSC. And I recommend, I think that is something where, hey, you can be your own Robin Hood, right? Like, everyone makes their own decisions here, but that's what that is, being a liquidity provider. But when we talk about staking, right, and HOGE understanding that the education gap is big, well, part of the tokenomics, are that it is auto staking. So you simply get to participate in that DeFi engagement of receiving a yield just by purchasing it. Once you purchase your HOGE and it's in your wallet, you're receiving, that reflection, and it's auto staking for you. So you don't have to take that next step. And in the process, you can learn about the world of staking and liquidity providers on HOGE University through some of that course content, and really understand that we're here to help kind of hold your hand, understand the beauty of what blockchain is, and give you the tools and really channels and opportunities to realize what you can do in this inevitable world of tomorrow.
Awesome. And so just by holding HOGE, you'll get 2% reflections. And then if you stake them as well, what's the percentage on that?
Well, yeah. So to clarify, it's not that you would get a 2% reflection, because remember, right, there is a burn. So a portion of that 2%, I won't say that every given day it's right down the middle, but pretty close. A portion is burned, and that other 1% or whatever it might be exactly is distributed to all the holders, all our 100,000, investors. And that's just it, right? People don't get come here and get paid for spending their time and doing their work, right? They invest their time, their unreturnable seconds, for something that's the greater good. And the people that really participate in receiving that upside are our community, because if you believe in HOGE and you got those diamond hands and it's in your wallet every time, there's a little piece, that's coming back to you. And on the liquidity side, it really just depends on the given week, right? Those numbers are always fluctuating, and it's always about what's what for any given week. But you can always check right on Uniswap and on PancakeSwap and see what's at and how many transactions there were per day and what the APR was for the day. So, if that's something you're interested in, first learn about it. Like, go to HOGE University. We're here to take you down that path and show you that it's not a scary place. It's a beautiful place. And when you have only, as you stated, 2%, whatever it is, it's a small number out of the whole world, or under 8% going after blockchain. And you go even down further when you talk about DeFi, the opportunity to disconnect from what is told to us here in America anyways, as what is successful and how you go about it, is staggering, right? Collateralized loans, right? As you're mentioning, staking, liquidity providers. You don't have to be an accredited investor, right? You can be your own little Robin Hood. Everyone has a fair shot. So if you're the billionaire hedge fund guy in Silicon Valley, or you're the unbanked farmer, in some third world nation, you have a safe place to try and get yours and store your, your earned, income or your monetary, power there. And for us, right, blockchain, that is the currency of tomorrow. It's a Trojan horse, right? It comes in as like innovation, but really it's new monetary policy, ecosystem, and structure. It's beautiful.
Awesome. And so you've been around 9 months, the HOGE project now. It's just growing and growing. You're going on more blockchains. Like you say, you're on 5 blockchains. So are you looking strategically in the future to launch on more blockchains?
Oh, absolutely, right? Like we've been looking at Solana, right? Great UI, it's fast, fees are cheap, and with Ethereum demand still through the roof, what rush are they into kind of upgrade and update, and will that really fix anything? So there's going to be a lot of people disrupting, and there's no one killer this, one killer that. I'm not a believer of that. I don't subscribe to that, even if I don't believe in the project or the blockchain, because in maturity, and I'm curious what you think. It seems to me that in maturity, if your blockchain, much less your protocol, has use case, has value, that is earned and the market decides, the consumers, the investors, see that value, you're going to be here, and there'll be a bridge there. There'll be a chain for that. And people, all these different chains, early on where they're taking shots at each other, there's going to be bridges to each one of them, and they're going to complement each other. And, the whole parachain game is starting now, and what Dot's doing over there, and KSM, and I believe that first auction went off today. I mean, it's right in front of us. Everything is coming like a freight train, and it's going to be, the inevitable $100 trillion, monster. But who knows if we're going to be quantifying it and failing fiat by that time.
Yeah, Solana seems to be focusing towards gaming, and some huge games coming out there. So you're playing a 3D game at HOGE project as well. Can you tell us any more details about that?
Well, yeah, and to clarify there, right, so I can tell you MVP, what's live right now, right, we have HOGE.fun, and on HOGE.fun, you have these web-based, games that are snackable, quick, think like Angry Birds or, something quick and fun. And so right now, those games, those video games, they exist. They're in the 2D format. We had a few months ago a live streaming event to get back to charity, and actually, in the next week or two, we actually deliver full circle on that, these fancy fun checks. But anyways, We had a couple influencers on, our OG, just soul-stopping human, Scotty Sire, who's been an incredible HOGE supporter, and Adam Rose, a great guy who came and had some fun for a month and showed a good time, right? And really through that, you know, I lost my place here on exactly what where I was going with that. What was the question again? You know,
I
I'm thinking.
got you.
Yeah.
So they have 3D gaming. So
Oh
basically,
yeah, the 3D
essentially,
gaming. Go ahead.
yeah, our community has been really passionate about games. We saw the games come through with the HOGE.fun. We saw the games continue when we started doing the live streaming events. Well, a couple of our game developers came together and they built a game called Mega Hogeman. And it's an 8-bit style game, similar to like the 90s, back when we were kids playing on Nintendo and playing Mega Man. And so they've recreated everything. They recreated the scenes, the soundtracks, recreated the looks, the feels. Everything is basically original, with inspired by Mega Man. And so it's an 8-bit game currently through Virtual Pangea. It should be launched sometime soon, and they're actually giving away a free Tesla to whoever has the best time in this competition.
cool.
So it's gonna be really cool. But the second game they're going to build is a 3D game. I don't know much about it yet. I just know that they have a team of about 30 people, from what I hear, and they're developing some amazing content. So I look forward to see what they're going to build here in the future.
Yeah, Rocco, that is exciting, right? And where I was going with that Adam and Scotty thing was that, you know, we made some charity games that are evergreen. You can play the Adam and Scotty game now. And moving into that partnership with Virtual Pangea, as J-Rock mentioned, yeah, that's incredible, right? Like we can form these collaborations with like projects that have a great tech stack, are building the world of tomorrow, integrate, you know, thoughtfully our, you know, ecosystem and community in a way that there's some balance, and really they've given us a plan to provide some incredible revenue to a project, right, that's community funded. And that's really exciting, you know, to a project like ours, when someone comes along like that, is bringing this IP of value and use case and utility and catching that play to earn wave at just the right time, in such a way, and then at the end of the day wrapping it up to help our DAO and projects stay funded and grow. You know, that's the type of energy that we attract here at HOGE. And, you know, we are the people's coin. And it is what it is. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, the HOGE NFTs going forward, are you looking at launching on one blockchain and move it over to the 5 because you're on 5 blockchain, or doing huge launches onto all 5 blockchains and the utilities attached to them? I think you've sort of touched on that with the gaming side, there'd be an NFT sort of game link in the future as well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not the tech guy, right? And so in my world, in my layman mind, that's where I don't have much acumen. I would love to come with every blockchain, right, when our platform launches. The reality is, right, of all that work that goes into it. So in terms of the exact chains that we'll be launching on, I can't confirm what is final, but I can say that, you know, it's all about coming right and coming correct initially, and really onboarding and engaging all our audiences to understand that that platform is here for them. You know, to understand and learn the world and make it their own. You know, it's not here to gouge. And I think that as it relates bigger picture to the scope of NFTs, you know, the visual design aspect of it, that, you know, next iteration from Mona Lisa on the blockchain and verifiability is beautiful, but it's just the tip of the iceberg, right? When we talk about NFTs, I think in maturation, right, NFTs without any use case, without any utility, a lot of these ones in the beginning that some are visually incredible, right, are not going to be looked at too fondly in the test of time, because NFTs are just such a beautiful piece of technology. And your NFT, right, at Virtual Pangea, that's your key to access the world of HOGE, man, right? And they have this club and you get all these extra benefits, and that's an iteration. And you take NFTs even a bit further, I see them replacing, you know, deeds to physical assets, right? Loan papers, mortgage papers, you know, concert tickets, airplane tickets. You know, you talk about data storage and immutable record. You know, they do so many things, and I see NFTs in every facet of, you know, traditional business and industry that we see today, even at the corporate level and the most layman of minds, right? It's a digital coupon for them to activate their customers, right? Or their audience. So it's such a beautiful piece of technology on blockchain. I think we've barely scratched the surface.
Awesome. And you've got 157 mil market cap. That's a huge success. What's your vision for the future? What's the, you know, the sky's the limit for the price going into billions in the future, do you see, for HOGE and the huge community you've built up there?
Yeah, so what I can say is, right, like when we think about our goals and our objective, bigger picture for HOGE, in all honesty, it's not where we hit a market cap or a number. I think that market cap and what that number, whatever it might be, if someone were to answer, we're going to the moon, that comes after and with serendipitously putting thought into the projects that, we're building and the protocols and our community and how that's going to help them. Because this industry, right, is so fast. It's do it now, do it quick. But every step of the way, people are missing the mark, whether it's how they're engaging with their community, their go-to-market, like solution, the way they amplify, the way that their channels look, their community management. And so for us, recognizing that, we all recognize that here, we take a step back and move a little bit slower. But in doing so, right, we make sure that we're laying the foundation, not just to be here today or tomorrow, but to be here next quarter, next year, 5 years from now. And in an industry that's so new and so fast, most are just thinking about, tomorrow or the next month. And so while we may look slower on paper, we're playing chess and studying, HOGE theory optimal in a world of checkers players. And I think that there's going to be a lot of successful checkers players, but for us, we prefer the game of chess.
Awesome. And we've got some questions coming from Twitter, so I'll ask one now. Since this is WellCoin Talk, can you please talk about HOGE's wallet spread? Sam's asking. He heard it's the flattest of all of crypto. Yes, you heard that right, the best. And he would love to hear some actual numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe go ahead.
Joseph, maybe?
Yeah.
So Joseph Hogeman, you want to answer this one? Are you still here with us?
Hopefully so. And until he comes on, right? But it is the flattest wallet distribution in the game. And this being WellCoin Talk, that's the great thing, right? That the whales are everyday people in this community, right? You don't have a project that doesn't have a war chest or where like the top 5 wallets can destroy the project because of what they hold. People's coins is more indicative of why we are the people's coin, because the people are the whales. And that is something you don't see in a lot of projects. It just doesn't exist. And, we are different. We're not like the rest.
It looks like Hogeman is still muted. Can we unmute him for this question?
Yeah, sure. Let's have a look. What's the name?
Hogeman with the period at the end. And it says Telegram is horribly insecure.
HOGE my beer, is it now? Because there's quite a few HOGEs. It looks of it in here.
Yeah.
Let's look.
He's got a dragon
It's like,
avatar, looks like.
Yeah, it's like Batman replacing
HOGE
Batman
man, yeah.
with HOGE.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
HOGE man's unmuted. Yeah.
Okay, Joseph, can you hear us?
He's back in. Here we go.
I've been set free from my prison and I still hate Telegram. Okay. So I think the question was about whales, right? It's like, oh, how many rich people own your coin? So I pulled up the holders list. So the top holder owns 1.5%, and the next top holder owns 0.5%, and then it quickly goes down from there. So if you added up, like, let's say the top 20 wallets, you would not even, you would barely get to 9%. So it's suffice to say that we have some people that have a lot of valuation on paper, but for them to dump that all, they would be playing the prisoner's dilemma. I think what we've seen is that over the last 4 or 5 months with the crypto bear market over the summer, a lot of the people that wanted to leave did. And then a lot of the people, a lot of the top 50 wallets, they really haven't touched it. They don't do a lot of trading. They just bought the HOGE in that wallet. And they were like, I'm going to leave it for years because this is a good investment.
Awesome. Yeah. And another question from Twitter by Crypto Camel. He was asking, how will the scarcity triple halving of Ethereum 2 impact the price of an already deflating HOGE that we touched on with the supply burned already? Yeah.
Scarcity of Ethereum or scarcity of HOGE?
The scarcity of triple halving of Ethereum 2, how's that going to impact the price for the deflating HOGE project as well?
Well, I mean, because most of the liquidity is paired with Ether, If Ether goes up in value relative to the US dollar, so will the token. But I don't think like the ETH 2.0 scarcity stuff really impacts us directly. If we're able to generate a market for HOGE, then we will continually have people. We'll continually have like supply and demand economics, which is the easiest way to envision it going forward. So, I mean, it's just nice that you have the burn, so it does get a little more scarce over time. For people that are looking at this as like a 10 and 20-year investment, I mean, if you're sitting on 1% of the supply when, 80% of the supply has been burned, you're in a pretty good place. And so I think that's what a lot of the top wallets are looking at it like now. They're thinking, I don't have to touch it. I can see the team is making good strides. I can see it has a future. It has a roadmap that makes sense. And so I don't have to mess with it.
Awesome. And from Twitter again, Mitch Lichter. When will HOGE Aerospace first mission start? And he said thank you and much success to the HOGE team.
I think he's poking fun at me, So I am head of the Aerospace Institute, and what we're trying to do is get a satellite into space, and we're doing that in collaboration with universities, local industries, governments, and hopefully we can catch a rideshare with NASA's CSLI program. And so to do that, it's a multi-year process. The first step was securing all of the partnerships. The next step is organizing the student groups so that they can start building, and then we can develop in tandem with them. So we have, a lot of products that we're thinking about that can go on a satellite, but ultimately the students themselves are going to be building the thing that they hand off to NASA and NASA's contractor to go into space. And so we just want to work with them as closely as possible. There are other paths we could go. We could, spend a lot more money to develop something very quickly and then throw it into orbit for like $300,000, $500,000. But I don't think that meets the idea of us having a community effort. So that's where we are with the mission.
Awesome. And so with the marketing going forward for the next quarter and into next year, I know you're sponsoring esports and rally racing trucks. What's planned there for the HOGE community and team?
Why don't you hop in here, Hayden and Rocco?
Yeah, I might have missed the last part of it about the sponsorships and direction for sponsorships, or what was
that you're sponsoring esports and rally racing trucks, but into the future, the next quarter and next year, what you're planning for HOGE marketing there? I imagine you've got a huge budget. What you're going to be doing there?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's always right, we are community funded as it relates to budgets and marketing budgets and outreach, right? It's all predicated upon our revenue channels flowing and being set up. Right now, we're coming down the line of a lot of projects in development, from our NFT platform to finalizing our DAO and that native app and that mechanism to vote. But moving forward, when I say we mean business, right? Mean business, and we're the Microsoft of memes. A huge part of the history of HOGE is that without, these huge juggernaut budgets to go to market in the very beginning of its infancy, it rose to a $400 million market cap without any paid media. And the way that happened, right, was pure memes created and going viral on Twitter, and a universal way for people all over Twitter, no matter what part of the globe or what language they spoke, to communicate with each other. And I think that memes, at scale, are still undervalued and underestimated on what they do for communication. And in a few years, right, when industry catches up, maybe less at the rate that we're going, especially in this digital landscape, right, the memes, and HOGE being the Microsoft of memes, that in itself, right, is a piece of IP where we're sponsoring and putting, our dollars investing out there to increase our awareness. It's going to come full circle very quickly, as we're going to be a way to communicate and resonate, with the culture, with the audience that are making the decisions and the thought leaders today that might be looked at as a bit unreasonable, in today's day and age. And then tomorrow, when they are in this position and it catches up as to the beauty of memes, I think we're going to be in a good position in a number of ways.
Yeah. I mean, I would
powerful medium.
I would agree. I mean, the only twist I would say is, what sets HOGE apart for the future versus other tokens or projects, right? If any of us wanted to go join Ethereum today and go work with Ethereum, it'd be really hard to have any kind of impact. You can say the same thing about Bitcoin, ADA, Solana. You can say about all the major stuff, right? But with HOGE, we don't have just 5 developers. We don't have just 6 or 10 developers. We don't even have 20 developers. We have 70,000 to 100,000 people that at any given time period can do whatever they want with HOGE. So like the rally car or the rally truck racing, one of our community members is passionate about rally trucks, and he's like, you know what? I want to sponsor one. He sponsored one for HOGE. They engraved the entire truck and wrapped it with HOGE icons and logos and words, and made it amazing. We have another member in our community who's talking about doing ads at NBA stadiums, and then talked about putting a HOGE in the stratosphere via a balloon. And so the nice thing about our community is there's not just 5 people making decisions or 1 person making decisions. It's really the entire community is able to do whatever they want at any given time. You don't need me. You don't need Hogeman. You don't need Hayden. If you want to do marketing, go do marketing. You want to go build a platform, build a platform. And collectively, through our ecosystem, we work really well together.
Yeah, it reminds me of Doge in 2014. It just built up so many community supporters that just, blew up Twitter. And the name got out there. And, the rest is history over time with Elon getting involved. And so I can open it up to the team if anyone's got any questions for Joe or Hayden at HOGE.
Yeah, Glenn. So it's great what you're doing, guys. I think the educational part of it is one of the main things, because you're not only gaining a knowledgeable DeFi owner, but maybe you're gaining an investor as well. So onboarding new people to crypto is amazing, and it sounds like you guys are going everywhere, like even in space. And my question is, like, is there something that you're not looking at? Because it seems like you're doing everything, but is there like something that you said, no, we're gonna stay away from that one?
Yeah, there is. The only thing we won't get our brand into is pornography or illegal drugs. Everything else we're pretty much open brand for.
Okay, well, that was a short list. Thank you.
Yeah, right. The fringe stuff that makes logical sense, I know. But if it makes sense, right, and it's something that helps people, and in this world, right, we have to think about the way we go about our lives every day and the things that we use and rely on, whether it's our phones, our digital screens in front of us, our coffee machine, our soap, our shower, our clothes. And really, it's about integrating thoughtfully into the everyday, routines of humans for HOGE to go everywhere and have all these touch points, both digital and physical, right? And to lead people to down the funnel of ours and in that path towards a project that isn't trying to take from them. They're not trying to extract from them. We're trying to give and empower. And I think the blockchain has so much opportunity, and so many of these projects out here that create these elegant and sexy, if I may, protocols, right, that leverage the beauty of DeFi. And with that, though, there is such a miss at scale of taking some more time to give back and empower the community that is engaging with that protocol or project, because this is so new. This really is our version, our generation's version of the wild west. 100 plus years ago, as I've said a couple times, they're physically mining for gold, and as irony would have it, 100 something years later, right, we're digitally mining for gold. And the old like legend that your parents would say, or your grandparents, or they used to say to me, what do you think, money grows on trees? Of course, that's ridiculous. But what's so ridiculous is that money is minted on the blockchain, quite literally. And it's just such an early time to really educate oneself and learn it, because it's for the taking and the giving.
Yeah, that's great. So I can open it up. I think someone's got a hand up there. Frederick. Hi, Frederick. You've got a question for the HOGE team, Joe or Hayden?
Yeah. Good evening. I've been enjoying the AMA. You just got some. I was going through your ecosystem. I see it is actually huge. Like you just put the U in there. It's going to be huge. I got some questions for the dev. Now, I don't know if your ecosystem is limited to certain geographical spread. I don't know if you like, I can see the HOGE University and the aerospace and all that. I don't know if you have developing countries in mind when you actually starting your project? Do you have uh, have some role at which you're going to play in developing countries?
Yeah, we
Like,
definitely keep countries in mind. It's a great
okay,
question. In fact, I just posted in our main chat about 10 different channels that we have that are international channels. And each channel or each group, even Reddit, Telegram, Discord, they all act as independent communities within the ecosystem themselves. And so we have some of our best content developers actually from Germany. Some of our best sponsorship people come from France, are the ones who did the rally truck racing. One of our developers, who's also a lawyer, does a lot of stuff in Africa. And so we have a really passionate community that brings their passion with them to whatever they want to do with HOGE.
oh, okay, yeah. One more question. Is your product been launched?
Yeah, so we were launched on February 7th of this year, and we've been around almost 10 months.
Okay, that's fine. That's awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks for asking.
Okay. So is there any more questions for HOGE? For Joe or Hayden or?
I'd like to make a comment.
Go ahead, Mr. K. Yeah. Oh, Cash silence. Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you guys for your product. I've been a holder since March 4th, and I really appreciate what you do.
Hey, thank you. You know, honestly and seriously, appreciate that. This is why we do it for everyone here. And we're like, I'm one small part of 100,000 people. Some real talk there, right? What makes HOGE so beautiful is that when you virtually look to your left and right, we're here to help each other and learn in real time. And we might not always be the most polished, but who wants to be that polished? We're real, we're human. And, in this digital world, we're figuring it all out together. And it's, it's exciting, man. And when we hear, like, honestly, you saying thank you, I mean, that goes a long way. For someone like me, and I know Rocco, right? Like, I'm up 20 hours a day, right? Out of passion. I'm intoxicated by the blockchain, all things about it. And HOGE is that true project that's different and here for people. And to me, it makes no difference, what the price is on any given day or where the market cap is at, because if I ever sleep, right, when I rest my head, it's all about knowing that leveraging the innovation in this project to give people tools and resources and just empowerment in a world that is just so skewed in terms of like how it works and what it really is so important right now, especially in the beginning. It is our duty and responsibility, to provide those resources and help people understand, because there are tens of thousands, and here at HOGE, over 100,000 of us that get it. And soon it'll be a reactive, market in maturity, and people will FOMO in. And right now is the time to just take a step back and see. And when you go on these projects and you look at HOGE, it's just, if you take a look under the hood, there really isn't another project like it out there. And I don't really think ever will be. It's just, you don't do a project for not for profit on the blockchain. It's ridiculous and it's incredible. And we love it.
Awesome, yeah. And with HOGEman not keen on Twitter, whereabouts do most of the investors hang out? Is it Discord, Twitter, or Telegram, or all over the internet and Reddit and places?
Yeah, so our biggest areas of traffic are typically going to be Telegram. Is probably one of the lower ones. Twitter is probably our highest engagement. We have about 70,000 followers. Reddit, we have about 21,000. Of those, both of them are receiving millions of unique views per month. Following, we have Discord, we have Facebook, we have some just natural communities and chats and groups within the various channels, of course. Within Telegram, for instance, I think we have 30 different channels for 30 different languages. Within Twitter, I think we have 20 different countries. And so it just really depends on where the user wants to be part of that community. If they're a Twitter person, we have a Twitter page. If they're a Telegram person, we have that covered for them as well. But as a whole, yeah, Telegram is horribly insecure. You have people who are scamming people all the time. They'll pretend to be admins. I mean, I'm sure you guys go through this as well. They'll pretend to be admins, ask for seed phrases, never give that stuff out. Always protect your account for sure.
Definitely, yeah. It's a bit the Wild West, a bit like the BSC in Telegram. So have we got any more questions for the HOGE team?
Questions. The first one is there gonna be only the 2% burn on every transaction, or are you planning also any huge HOGE burn? And the other one is, are you going to be sponsored also in Facebook ads or something like that?
So the 2% burn only occurs on the Ethereum blockchain. If you're interacting with HOGE on, let's say, BSC, on XDAI, Phantom, or trying to think, Matic, any of those four, essentially there is no tax, there's no burn. We can't manually burn extra HOGE because all the HOGE is already owned by the community. So if anybody wants to burn their HOGE, they just got to send it to the smart contract and it's gone forever. And that's always an option. I wouldn't recommend it, but they could. And your second question was, are we going to be sponsoring Facebook ads? Well, we do have a recent addition to our marketing team. He is a guy who works for Facebook in their sales team. He's asked to join our team as far as just helping out marketing. We're a community token, so if anyone wants to help out, they can help. And so I'm not sure what it's going to look like in the future for ads or whatever we're wanting to do. I know there's a marketing plan coming together to actually hire a marketing company via the community funds that we have and to help kind of strategize and execute some of the bigger ideas that we want to really do. And so it's looking pretty good. I think so far we raised about $50,000. Our goal is to raise 150. And once we get there, we hope to have a really awesome go-to-market strategy in conjunction with some of the new exchanges we're going to be listing on very shortly.
Can I jump in here and talk about burn?
What's that?
Oh, I was just seeing if I could jump in here.
Go ahead. All you, man.
Yeah, so the thing is, we quote unquote, we, the developers, are not anyone special when it comes to the token. We don't run the token, we don't issue tokens, we can't get rid of tokens. The entirety of HOGE, every last one, is owned by the community. So it's a community project, individuals own LP, and anything that's gone into central exchanges have been posted by individuals as well. So we can't plan like a big burn event, and even if we could, it wouldn't make sense because it would not impact the price at all. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay, great. I think we've got another hand up here as well. Jonathan, you've got a question for the HOGE team? Are you there, Jonathan?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hi.
Hey, first of all, I want to say, guys, I love you. You guys are doing amazing things. I've been with you guys since March. I rode the dip all the way down, and I read up on my bags. My question to you guys is, would it be bad if we was to say HOGE is the new DeFi bank? Because the way I see it, and the people that I got into HOGE, I tell them, listen, buy this, put it in your wallet, and it grows. It's technically better than the bank. How would that be? Would that be bad?
I mean, look,
Yeah.
here's. Go ahead.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
Hogeman, you take that. You want to take that?
I can. So, like, originally, the nice selling point of HOGE is that you get the redistribution, and that was copied 1,000 times, right? Everyone knows about redistribution, reflect coins, but what they don't know is that it started way back in October of last year, and it never got any like traction. And so when you look at the success of meme coins now, they're successful because they own a brand and an identity. Like, people want to get together and cheer for the same sports team the same way they want to get together and cheer for the same crypto. It's like, it goes up, it's fun. It goes down, it's fun because you're all doing it together. I mean, people, so there's like your community of active investors, the people who are in your channels that are making noise. There's the passive investors, and for the passive investors, you're right. It's a really attractive proposition to say, buy it, you'll get some more as time goes on, and you don't have to think about the project, because one of the most annoying things in this space is you get into 10 projects and then you gotta like keep up with all of the news that's always coming out, and so you just like migrate when they migrate tokens, or they go to a new blockchain, you gotta go over there and redeem your tokens. You're just like losing money unless you're hyper focused on it. So I really like the idea of like HOGE is the savings account. And with that, I had always, I've been saying this to the team, we just haven't had time to put it together, is I've always wanted to pair that with other tokens so it makes more sense as a full economy. And so we can do that with other like non-HOGE tokens, or we could launch our own. It makes sense to have a stable coin so that if you go to buy a loaf of bread, it doesn't cost $2 tomorrow what cost you $1 today. It makes sense to have an inflationary supply so that you can give out loans or have debt granting institutions. That way you can spur further economic growth. It's the same way most of economies grow. So yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense to think of HOGE as the savings account.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes, that's how I got into people. I'm sorry. I got in like honestly like maybe 40 people into HOGE, and you tell them about it, and they're like, no, I don't want to get into crypto. I don't know about this. I'm like, listen, you just got to buy this coin. You send it to a decentralized wallet, and you just leave it there. You come back, month, 10 months, a year, 10 years. I'm in it for the long run, so you get me. I don't mind. And they're like, okay. And I already got a couple of friends that have bought 30, 40 million, and they tell like, yo, I already got 40,000 free to HOGE. Like, yes, when that HOGE grows, those 40,000 is gonna grow as well. And
Yeah.
I was just putting it like that. Like I always tell everybody, HOGE is the DeFi bank, and that's my selling point.
Yo, I want to say,
People
Jonathan,
try to get it.
yeah, your energy, man, that's what I'm talking about, right? That really encompasses like our community and just that vibe and that confidence and that understanding of what is inevitable and inevitably coming in such a powerful way. It's just in a world of where patience is a virtue, many people lose that virtue. And when you have the unreasonable thinkers that understand, patience beyond 8 months of a startup, much less barely 2 business quarters, you see the bigger picture. Now, I won't say that, hey, we are a bank or a savings account, right? I mean, but I can't deny if you're making that analogy using logic, what it's more indicative of is that the current system and monetary policy needs a reset. There's something that isn't working and it is only getting worse and worse. And so for that, if we're making those comparisons, it's not hard. When you walk into a Wells Fargo in America and you go for their savings account and they literally with a straight face offered at 0.02%. And you can go on much less Coinbase or the World of Terra or any of these stable coin places and earn 15%, 19.5% on a stable dollar, a safe place in a volatile market. I mean, these are the things that aren't, pushed out at scale. If they were, who's ever going to go to a Wells Fargo or any centralized bank account for savings when, they're insulting you with what they're offering? And when you can do it on the blockchain and really start to impactfully improve, your life quality trajectory and build that financial stability brick by brick. Like I said, we're not a lottery ticket. It's not a get rich quick. It's the foundation of the future.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Love your energy,
Awesome.
man. Appreciate the support.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. That was mostly my question. Keep doing. And, I'll see you guys at the moon.
Awesome.
We'll be waiting.
And
We ended this for 10 years, 15 years, hopefully. I like how you guys be saying, like 10, 20 years from now, you're going to have your grandchildren and you're going to ask them like, oh, grandpa, how much you bought HOGE for? Yes, I bought it for fractions. I love that. You get me? That's the catchphrase. I love it.
That's what's up, man. I like you, man.
All right, guys. I'll stop taking your time. Thank you so much. And, follow it and I'll stay with you guys.
awesome. So yeah, with the exchanges, you're on the second largest one in the world, crypto.com, and that I'm invested in Crow as well, and that's blowing up, and they're going to make their own blockchain. Maybe you'll be exploring launching on their blockchain in the future. You're on Gate.io, Coinbase, FTX. Are you looking for a push to go to Binance with Doge and Shiba on there in the future as well?
Well, yeah, look, let me just pause there, right? You're going to cause mayhem here. Of course, we definitely are on a property and channels of crypto.com. We formed a partnership with them for their RSS feed and having that integrated so that in real time, their users, could see the real time price of HOGE inside their native environments, have visibility on their news channels. And on our side, on our site, we have their ticker there and their RSS integration. Now, of course, our hopes are to continue to build and foster that relationship so that we do have listing placement And in the evergreen mission of HOGE everywhere, you can input Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, all of them. We want them all. We want to be there. We want everyone to have the ability to access HOGE wherever they are. And so there isn't an exchange on there that doesn't have a user base and a real, like community, or really all these users that are impactful that we don't want to be at. We want to be everywhere. So if you're listening and you're out there, and you can help us be everywhere with these exchanges, much less. We are a community project. This is our digital hand reaching out. We never stop, and we have our foot in the door in more places, than one might imagine. But we want our foot in many more doors and in places. So the more, the merrier.
Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think there's any more questions. If there's anything we've missed, or you want to round it up about HOGE and the team and the community, I can send it back to Joe or Hayden.
Yeah, the other thing I would say is we have this big marketing push coming. We also have a couple of exchanges we're looking to list on. One of them is going to be Bitmart relatively soon. We have a secondary exchange we can't name yet, and then we have a top 5 exchange that hopefully once they're done reviewing our file, they can go ahead and proceed with listing us on their platform sooner than later. So all things go well, it's going to be a really awesome Q4 for us. And besides the exchanges and being able to buy us easier, just the amount of projects that are going on are just beautiful. Aerospace, education. We even have a Unifaucet now. You go to unifaucet, I believe, .com, I believe, Hujman. If you go on there, you can get yourself some free crypto. You just have to pay the gas fee is like, 5 cents or whatever it may be.
Oh, my goodness. It's unifaucet.org. Okay, so I got to tell you guys about this, because anytime someone says free crypto, it sounds like a scam. So if you consider that all of these Reflect tokens are going around, and if you have a wallet that holds Reflect tokens, it's gaining tokens over time. So one thing we wrote in HOGE is a faucet for Reflect tokens, where anybody can take their favorite token, they can stake it in, and the faucet will pay out of the reflection amount. It will pay a small percent, 1% out of everything that's reflected to it. And so this solves the problem of you have to get your friends into DeFi, but they can't figure it out, right? They can go to the faucet, they can press one button, and as long as they have the native blockchain utility coin, they can get anything that's listed on there. So it's kind of a win for everybody, right? So they get to go there, they get to see like what are the Reflect tokens, what are people buying, what's available, and they also get to get a little bit of your crypto. So that's what the Unifaucet is. So it's quote unquote free, but it's really just taking advantage of where the tokens have built up over the last year.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and like
also,
no, go ahead. No, tell them.
The other thing we have is we have HOGE.bsc.com, and really there's a community project out there that's community forward, a good project. Maybe they're audited, a good dev team, and they're looking to put their crypto on the faucet or even on our HOGE swap. We have our own swap now. Get with Hogeman. We can get you all connected, get you guys on there, and just more the merrier, right? Hogeman, how many people do you guys have on that Unifaucet now?
We've got 10 of the bigger tokens and some smaller ones coming in. Yeah, I think it's great because it's like the watering hole, right? You can check in, you can see, is the reflected amount worth more than the gas fees? And if it is, you click a button and you're in the green.
Yeah, it's a fun piece of IP that is deployed and real. And whether it's the Unifaucet, the HOGE Aerospace Institute, the NFT platform that's coming, HOGE University, whatever it might be, there are many things going on day in and day out at HOGE. And if you liked what you heard today, hop on over to HOGEfinance.com, join the HOGE Weekly email blast, get your weekly information drop in the world of HOGE, and then join us every Monday and Friday on our AMAs. On Monday, it's a marketing AMA where the 3 of us are on. More or less, it's me and Rocco when HOGEman gives us his presence because he's a very busy, incredible thinker that always keeps it pushing. We give you the information. And then on Friday, which happens to be tomorrow, it's where we wrap up the week. It's a little more vibe, a recap of the week, some updates, and it's about sending you into the weekend with some authentic HOGE happiness. So there are so many ways to continue this conversation. And, Well Talk, you guys should come on our AMA one time. We'd love to have you. And I see my note here. Yeah, it would be great. I mean, I think it really would. And I like what you're doing here. And anywhere that we can be everywhere and help expand, you know, it's all about working together. And I will say that I see the list here. We got to pick some winners, right? So at least for me, obviously this is probably a no-brainer. But the energy that Jonathan gave, man, just he had me intoxicated. It was like a fresh piece of gum, that good flavor, and it just kept being good. So if I got to pick someone, Jonathan's my dude today.
Yeah, I've got a couple of names, Axie and Jonathan. It says one here or something there. Yeah, someone picked them. I don't know. On your team.
Yeah. So the giveaways are based off of questions asked, and
Okay.
those are the two winners that were decided upon. So it looks like the positive energy really went a long way here.
Certainly intoxicated me, that's for sure.
Yeah, now I want some gum, but that was awesome.
Me too. I need a blow pop. What flavor blow pop are you?
Grape all day.
Oh, yeah, grape's legit. I'm like that
Right.
cherry. But yeah, yo, blow pop's where it's at.
Guys, this was awesome. Really appreciate you coming and taking the time.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on.
It was great for coming. Yeah, I mean, a lot of our investors were already invested, so they're really excited to hear you today, and I'm sure more will be coming on board after this AMA here. And you're welcome back here, as well as you've kindly offered, you know, us to come over to you to your AMAs and have a chat. And yeah, so if you can keep us updated in the Whalecoin talk for our investors that are invested with HOGE, that'd be great going forward in the future. And yeah, I hope more investors can just get on the HOGE train before it you know, is going to blow up like Doge and Shiba in the future. Yeah, and the sky's the limit. So looking forward to the future of HOGE. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you.
Just want to say I see you there, Green HOGE. I see you. I haven't forgotten you. All right, that's it. Thanks a lot, guys. It was awesome. Yeah, you know how to find us.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.